In this video, we're diving deep into environment variables within the context of Docker Compose. We'll explore how they are used for managing configurations and secrets in your Dockerized applications. This is part of the Digital Logic and Design series. Environment variables are key value pairs that configure application behavior without modifying the code. They are used for runtime configuration, secure secret management, environment-specific settings, and dynamic application behavior. Environment variables allows you to customize how your applications run in different environments, such as development, testing, and production, without altering the application's core code. With Docker Compose, there are primarily two main methods to define environment variables. The first one involves defining variables directly within your Docker Compose YAML file, using the environment key. The second method is to store your variables in external .environment files for better organization and separation of concerns. Let's see how to define environment variables directly within a docker-compose.yml file. Here's a sample configuration. Under the Services section, for a service named Web, we specify its image as Nginx. Then we use the environment key to list our environment variables. Here, node_nv is set to production, API_URL is set to https://api@example.com, and debug is set to false. Docker Compose also supports an alternative syntax for specifying environment variables, using a key value mapping format. Instead of listing the variables with a hyphen, you can define them as a dictionary. For example, node_env:production, API_URL, https://api@example.com, and debug:false. For better organization, it's a good practice to store environment variables in a separate .environment file. In the .environment file, you can define your variables like this: node_env =production, API_URL https://api@example.com, debug false, and database_URL postgres://user:/pass@db:5432/app. Then, in your docker-compose.yml file, you can reference this .environment file using the env_file key. Docker Compose allows variable substitution, which means you can use environment variables to dynamically set values in your Compose file. For example, you can specify the image tag using an environment variable like this: Nginx:$curly brace tag. You can also use variable substitution for other configuration options, such as setting the node_env, or defining default values using the :_ syntax. Here are some best practices to keep in mind when working with environment variables in Docker Compose. First, never commit secrets to your source code repository. Use .environment files for sensitive data and add them to your .gitignore file. Provide defaults for your variables using the $curly-brace var:-default syntax to ensure fallback values are available. Use clear and descriptive variable names, following the uppercase convention. Finally, document your variables by creating .environment.example files with sample configurations to guide other developers. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.